out. Hello everyone and welcome to this new episode. Hi and welcome to this new episode of P.S. I'm a fan. It's an English speaking episode. Mais pour compenser, je vous fais une petite intro en français parce que je suis super sympa. Cet épisode, il est un peu particulier parce qu'on a parlé d'un court-métrage. Je sais pas si vous savez, mais le 25 mars 2015, il s'est passé une chose qui a bouleversé une grande partie des jeunes filles de cette planète. Zayn a quitté les One Direction. Le monde s'est écroulé, frère. Non, je rigole même pas. On avait juste l'impression d'avoir perdu notre identité, en fait. Suite à cet événement, il y a une grosse phase de deuil. Pause. J'ai eu des petits soucis de micro, du coup je vais vous faire un voice-over. En gros, là je vous dis qu'il y a quelques semaines, je suis tombée sur un court-métrage de comédie sur ce jour particulier et dévastateur. Réalisé, produit, créé par 3 jeunes femmes très talentueuses, Alexandra, Rebecca et Antoinette, qui ont d'ailleurs créé leur propre boîte de production qui s'appelle ps.imafan.contact Production et qui ont donc beaucoup d'autres contenus. Je vous encourage vraiment à les checker. Elles ont d'ailleurs fait un autre court-métrage sketch sur la fan culture et notamment sur Lana Del Rey qui s'appelle Lana Del Slayer. Je vous mettrai le lien en description. J'ai trouvé le court-métrage génial. Je vous encourage fortement à aller le voir. Et du moins, vous en avez un peu besoin si vous voulez écouter l'épisode. Et je vous laisse avec cette superbe conversation que j'ai adorée, où on a beaucoup parlé de leur propre choix esthétique, créatif sur ce court-métrage en particulier. Également de ce que ça représente d'être une fangirl à cet âge-là. Et surtout comment cette passion-là a modelé les personnes qu'on est aujourd'hui. J'espère que vous allez kiffer. Enjoy! Well, hello everyone and welcome to this new episode of P.S. I'm a fan. I'm really happy and excited today to have 3 creative women there, Rebecca, Alexandra, and Antoinette. So you can maybe present yourself, where you come from, what you do.
Oh, sure. So we're all based in Southern California. We like to make short films together. We started a comedy sketch series called Cinema Girl Sketches. Um, I personally am director, writer, occasional actor.
I'm Rebecca, also, yeah, like direct, write, produce, and yeah, we have a fun time getting to make the like little short films, obviously about different subjects that interest us and that hopefully, yeah, that other people find interesting too, or that, resonate with them as well.
We do find it interesting.
Same. Actor, producer, director,
Of course,
actor.
derivative.
We all, do all the different roles. So
Yeah, of course.
And that was kind of part of with sketches and stuff too, is to hopefully, showcase to other people like our multi-hyphenate kind of interests and like different roles that we like to do. And yeah, even acting in them, it was definitely something that was like, oh, you know what, maybe there should be some content that we have where we can also kind of like be in it as well, attach like our faces to it, and yeah, have some original content that, we're all creating and fully, making ourselves and yeah, playing a bunch of different parts in the process of it. And yeah, so hopefully that when, people see those things that they can kind of get a sense of like everything and all encompassing stuff that we can do.
Of course. Yeah, that's so cool. So you created that short film a few months ago. I personally came across it on social media because I think you had like a clip of it that went a little bit viral, and got interested instantly and wanted to see it, the full thing. Of course, I'm a directioner, and I'm not gonna ask you because it's obvious when you see the whole thing that you are. But that's exactly, why it was so interesting. You described the whole thing as you summarized the whole movie as March 25th, 2015 follows a group of middle school girls on the days in Malik left One Direction. The die-hard directioner must survive a spiral into emotional chaos and an unexpected soul-searching journey for any semblance of an answer and an algebra quiz that's due tomorrow. Really like the way you describe the whole thing. But first, like, I just wanted to talk about you as directioners, as fans. But like, can you tell me about that? Like when it happened, like why you were so obsessed at first and everything? Just like to have a bit of context of why, it was so important to you.
Who wants to take
Well,
it?
Yeah,
me,
Antoinette.
it's funny that you like say that and ask that as the first question because me and Rebecca, we went to middle school together.
Okay.
So me and Becca literally lived through that day together.
Okay.
Yeah, and we literally like survived that day together.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool that we have that like kind of shared memory and yeah, and I think that really helped with honestly making the film where we're like, okay, like what like where were we? Okay, I remember lunchtime. It was lunchtime. Like I think we really tried to yeah, like make the film from like our memories truly because yeah,
Yeah.
we were literally in middle school
It
all
feels
of
like
us.
that. That's why it's like so cool.
Yeah, yeah. So, um,
I think too that time as well just was like very influential for all of us, and I think played a huge role in like you literally shaping who we are, like being directioners and having that experience. Because, yeah, again, I feel like if you were a fan during that time and like lived through it and experienced it really was like earth-shattering. Like Zayn leaving the group, like
Yes.
going on a break, and like, it was also confusing, like
Yeah.
in that moment, because you have no idea, like what's going to end up with them. And especially like at that time when um, yeah, that literally was like such a source of like happiness and like just so many like good memories attached to their music and the experience of just like, yeah, being a fangirl at that age. Like it really was um life or death in those
Mm,
times, like any news and things that happened to them. So
mm,
yeah, it did feel like, if that experience has been shared, yeah, between the three of us individually or together on that day, then yeah, um there must be impact for other people as well. And yeah, maybe they can kind of like share in that same experience or be kind of taken back down memory
mhm.
lane and in a sense.
yeah.
Of course, that resonates. I mean, like, and as a fangirl, you could feel and sense the influence that they had all over the world, like not just you. And it felt like you had friends, sisters, like whatever. Um, remember me going to that concert and doing free hugs for like 2 hours. Like I don't know how many people I hugged. And that was such a small and big thing at the time. And I like that you said directly, how it shaped you and how, because I was talking about, of course, it's like in your summer, when you summarize the movie, you said that word like of a journey of like finding an answer and like, feeling lost and everything. And it feels like that when you see them like going on their own way alone after being together and being so, moved and also like overwhelmed by the news. And you kind of answered the question, but I was going to ask you, as a fangirl, do you think that it really affected your creativity today? Like as a creative, like as a person who, makes movies, do you think being a fangirl was like, also a pinpoint?
I'll take it. I think definitely. Um, it's such a like unique experience to be a fangirl and like be so invested and have this parasocial relationship with like a band or, somebody you look up to. Not in a weird way, but like it's it's kind of a beautiful like admiration to have as a child and like to have people that you can look up to um or obsess over in some cases. But I think I mean, for this comedy sketch series, like we definitely didn't expect it to turn into like highlighting fangirl experiences and stories, but it definitely kind of shifted when we did Lana Del Slayer. Um, and the response that we got from that one was crazy because I think fangirl experiences are not shared in the way that we've been trying to share them. And it's so relatable, and just there isn't like a positive outlet to highlight that experience that you have, being a preteen or a teen.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely played a huge role in like our creative process and like our decision to highlight that experience in our shorts and why we, decided to do this one on One Direction.
Mm. Yeah,
Mhm.
because the more you grew up, the more you painted as
Mhm.
hysterical and you kind of feel stupid in some way sometimes. And that's not like the when you find people like that live through the same thing, it changes. But like the more you grew up, you felt like, oh, I was stupid back then. No, I was living the best time of my life. Shut the fuck up. But like literally, I can tell you that being a directioner was like one of the best time of my life. Even if like I didn't have really friends like in my physical life, my reality, it was all virtual, the direction of friends. But anyway, um I think it's really cool that those environments, those situations was inspiration for later and like, that you can inspire other people too. Because I think I saw a comment under, I think it was on YouTube, on your short film, a person saying that as a directioner, um, producer, director, that she was making movies too, it reminded her that she could literally write about anything and that she could do it, you know? So you inspired like so many people. So many people resonated. Like a person said, like, this is not even exaggerating, basically. Like, you know. So no, yeah, I think you really inspired that and you made also people feel seen and everything. But what interested me more is the angle that you chose too, because you said it, you're setting the mood like pretty quickly, like you're like we know what time we are, with all these little shots and details that you put at the start, the cup song, like the spinners, the fanfics and everything. I laughed 3 times with one sentence. This when you describe the fan fiction, like with the mafia boss, vampire, and Tessa in the same fucking sentence, and I'm like, there's no way people can know if a person which is not a directioner watching this would be so confused. Like that was very fun. And the first moments, I'm like, and the voiceover comes in, and you have the imagines, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. And because like that could have been something else, that could have been emotional or something. But that was funny, and it's never a mockery, and it's always like it's a little bit parodic. We kind of laugh at ourselves, but at the same time we acknowledge the reality and the strong dramatic of the thing. And I was curious about this angle. Like, was it really obvious that it was going to be, kind of a comedic satire too?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
definitely wanted to find that balance of like, yeah, we definitely wanted it to be funny and it still fit in line with like, the sketches and that there's like, comedy and that it can be laughed at. But yeah, I mean, again, obviously, like since we did also participate in that time. Like we never wanted, yeah, to be a mockery of
No, of
those
course.
things and interests. Yeah, because it's like so many, with the fangirl experience and being a tween, like so many of your interests get labeled, yeah, in that like
Mm.
hysterical way, or it's yeah, always poked fun at or, made fun of in that sense. But with this, it was, yeah, hopefully um things like the imagines and things where it's like it's funny in the sense that it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, like
That was so
literally
stupid, though.
it's stupid, but it's
But
also it was like it was so serious. Like
Yeah.
it
but
meant
that
so
was
much.
yeah, and the fact that they're all like something also that was fun. This is the only thing that fills the space when you're like at the lunch table. You already know that they're going to talk only about that. when they're
Yeah.
coming in and they sit
Yeah.
down and they start talking. I love that it's filling a space, and it felt like that, avoid something, to talk about because you only talk about, I mean, at least like exercises or like you said quiz to exams and everything, and when you're a kid it's like you can have a passion and that was it. And the fact that they actively being productive and working on those stuff too, is pretty impressive in my head, like those characters,
Yeah.
so really like that part of that.
I think it's really wonderful that like now we're at like our big age, like we're in our 20s and now we can like look back at that time and like as you were saying, like a lot of like young girls kind of get made fun of for being fangirls. Like still to this day, like women or young girls are still made fun of for being fangirls. And I think it's really awesome that we are making a satire comedy about it because like we're taking control of the narrative and we experience that ourselves. So we're sharing that experience with the world ourselves.
Yeah,
And I think that's why it just worked so well, obviously, because,
true.
we're self-aware. It's like self-aware comedy. Like we know that it was ridiculous and we know that it was like over the top and so dramatic. But at the same time, it's like what you said, where it was like that was like the best time of our lives.
Yes.
Like we will never care about anything like that ever again, like the
Yeah, not the same.
being not
Mm.
Yeah.
the same. Like being a preteen girl is such a unique experience. And just getting to yeah, make something that is um yeah, sharing that experience is so awesome.
Yeah. And so the fact I think that like also that I liked also it's we're living now in a period of time where it's difficult to feel connected. Like we crave feeling connected to people. So that
Yeah.
also I think your movie kind of gave me such comfort that also, oh yeah, that was that time, and that was so fun, and like I can now talk about people, like talk with people that saw the same thing, today, like I was talking to my colleague and tell them, oh, tonight I'm doing this, with those girls, and like they did this, and and she was like, oh, but like I know exactly where I was when it happened, when I like it, and I was like, girl, same. And then we started talking, and yeah, it just felt genuine and human, and those memories, like you said, you make the movie with memories, and that's, I think, my favorite
Yeah.
thing about it. And
Hmm.
like I literally, the world collapsed when it happened to me. Like it was crazy. I was like sitting at my computer, my dad's computer, and I was like, I had like some time, I had the authorization to go on Facebook and see some stuff of One Direction when I, sometimes after school, and my dad comes in, and like I see the message on Facebook, I cry. My dad comes in, what's happening? Blah blah blah. Like, Zayn is gone. I'm like, I just did that. And he was like, who's Zayn? I'm like, and I'm like, you don't understand. No, like I was crying so much, and he screamed at me to stop doing
Hmm.
that. And I was like, and I got mad and got it to my room, and I was like, don't talk to me. Like, but yeah,
Yeah. No,
that
we were talking about that. We like when we all like got together talking about like the reception of the film, we were like discussing like how yeah, how connected everyone kind of became from that because it's not just yeah, like a comedy film about girlhood and One Direction. It's also literally, yeah, nostalgic, like nostalgia. It literally is a day that everyone literally remembers. And even if you're like an older brother who had like a little sister, you still remember your little sister like
oh,
freaking
he
out and crying
knows, he
over it.
remembers.
Yeah, and it's like so awesome seeing the comments, and it's not all just from like, young girls, it's also from like moms. Like
Yeah.
there's moms in the comments that are like, oh my God, this is so hilarious. Like, I remember when my daughter, I
That's so
remember this day
nice.
so vividly. So, I'm so happy that you brought that up because we all talked about that, how it was like this. I feel like it did do really well because it brought everyone together and it is this feeling of connectedness, like what you said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think too,
definitely.
we tried to with having multiple girls within the friend group, like play around with how each of them would have like their specific way of reacting. Because I mean, that's kind of, on the actual day, yeah, there was a friend that wanted to call her mom to pick her up. Yeah, like some people wanted to go home. Other people, you're just like crying. Other ones, it's, staring off into space. There's many different ways, yeah, to be processing that. So that was kind of fun to
Yes.
be able to like divvy out different ways that these girls are like processing this and
Yeah.
working through it. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess in some of the yeah, running into the water and that's one way of processing it too, I guess, in a more
Yes.
stylized way.
If I had water nearby, I would have done that. Like no, like that felt very nice. Yeah, the process of grieving that you did right after the announcement. Like first the notification comes, and yet there's several things that caught my eye because like there's the going nonverbal, and the tunnel vision and the classical music. There's a lot going on. And you have that milk spilling like blood. And I'm like, oh, that genius. And I'm like, because this is so childish and at the same time so dramatic. And like, this is nice. And I was wondering if you had like any reference, inspiration, visual reference for that scene or not, specifically.
Yeah, we for the yeah, the wide where we're kind of like coming in slow-mo. The entire like pre-production, we've been calling it the Renaissance shot because we took reference from like Renaissance paintings and how that there's like a table, everyone's kind of doing their own thing around the table. There's different layers and heights
Yeah.
of people and um yeah, an array of like colors and how just magnetizing something like that can be and like how many different things you can spot in an image like that.
Mm,
So that was our huge inspo for that shot specifically.
nice.
Um, yeah. Becca or Annie, did you want to chime in?
I think like the spilled milk was like the very first thing that we all were like, we need this in the
Yeah.
film. Like I think we literally were talking about the film and
Mm.
we were like, and there should be spilled milk. And we were like, and there should be a close up. Like I think it was literally one of the first things that we talked about. And you're
Yeah.
right, it's like symbolism of like spilled blood. Um, and I want to say that like me and Becca, like when we were at lunch, there was a friend who like
It
spilled milk,
There
right?
there
Like I
was.
think that
I
came from a
remember
core memory.
she was sitting against the wall in that kind of, like far off state. And I remember looking down and her milk was tipped over and there was just like a pool of it just like going on and on. And she didn't care to pick it up because in that moment it's like, what does this milk matter? It's not even anything that's like I think too, when
It's not
being
Zayn.
put
I'm good.
in being put into the film, I feel like a lot of people associate that style of carton and that style of milk is like, they attribute that to school. And I mean, I'm not sure how at different schools they might have look a little bit different but
Yeah.
there's usually some kind of like, of milk cartons, kind of juvenile. And so it's like, it is like that. Yeah, it kind of became that symbol of like literally this loss of innocence for,
Yeah.
like childhoods over, girlhoods over, like, because truly that is like one of people's like first, truly like, devastating losses that they had to deal with. And,
Yeah.
in their lives. So
Mm.
it I think it being like the milk and something that you attribute to youth and
Yeah.
schools
All
and
right,
stuff.
guys.
Yeah, it definitely had to be be in there. And all we were trying to think of more ways to really like up the dramatics in any way, so it's like something hitting the ground, spilling out, what
Yeah.
what else could we add to, the chaos of people running around, them slapping each other, like them
Yeah,
slapping
I
each
saw
other is
that.
another thing that's like, you know, just like one more like dramatic thing to add to that
Yeah.
sequence.
No, but you're real when you say also that's the first, um laws that they came through. And like maybe it's little dramatic of me, but like when you have a big loss in your life, you kind of need something to fill that up. And like on my part, like not to be so dramatic, but I lost my mother when I was 11 years old, and so One Direction was instantly coming in like maybe a few months after that, and so I became obsessed like very fast. And so that was something I held on to like so much. And so that really felt like a second loss, or like a betrayal. And you kind of also really nicely portray the betrayal, in this kind of angry, angsty, behaviors at the end. Also, felt it was nice, like a boyfriend being like you're like a breakup, like with your boyfriend, like with the letter, with the drawing that you throw in the fire. I did that when he broke up with me. So I'm like, you kind of there's like a romanticization, of the relationship. And I think I like that the meaning of it all was done, that not even that the life was over, but you were empty. And I think it was a good metaphor because of the milk and everything, like, emptying itself, and like you're now here, like, and what is left now? I think you kind of asked that question with this, grieving process and everything. And so it felt very powerful to me, like, and very real, that I felt like I lost myself. And I had a question towards that. Like, will you, like, when it happened, when you have that scene where they're all, chaotic and, being all over the place, it's very contemplative what you did right after, there's no much dialogue or anything. Like, why is that? Like in their minds, why you wanted that kind of contemplative shots, in the locations that you chose.
I think we wanted that like soul searching journey to be portrayed. So we felt like, once that like major event happens, it's like, what more is there to say other than to like look inside
Mm,
and feel like what that really means for you going forward. So
yeah.
I think, with the different locations, we kind of just wanted each girl to have their own energy and like express this grief in a way in a different form.
Mm,
So I mean, yeah, we just kind of chose the locations based on like what was available to us and what, looked good on
yeah.
screen and like where we felt like someone who's a preteen would go to like maybe find themselves, like wander into the forest or spend alone time at the beach
Mm,
with a cigarette. Like, so yeah, I think it was important to show that like everyone took this situation very differently and like
yeah.
as much as we were a friend group that in this film that, experienced the same thing, like everyone kind of internalized it differently and like handled the news in a different way. So we wanted to show that, but then also coming back together as a friend group
Yeah.
at- because it is a shared experience that we all, had gone through. So yeah.
Cool. I was curious about that also because someone in the comments kind of said, is this like the locations of the music videos or something? And I was like, wait, what? And I came back to the thing and I was like, okay, that could be what makes you beautiful. Yeah, I see that. Okay, the other one could be like Live While We're Young. And the third one, I was like, what? Which one is that? And I was like, no, maybe not, Julie. Just like stop. But like that's fun also that it like echoes, to people like that because like it felt very real in that in those locations.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think no, go
it
ahead,
wasn't
Alex.
intentional. Definitely, like we did not
Okay.
like wish we thought of that, honestly. But amazing that it just happened to resonate with people in that way and like they recognize that this might be from something One Direction related. But yeah, was not
Yeah.
intentional, but
I
love
I
that response. Yeah.
I have to ask though, is the face in the water thing is a Troy Bolton reference, or I'm like tripping?
No, but I
Um,
mean it does kind of like match that scene, but
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just needed to ask.
No, that's so funny. Yeah, we didn't think of that one either, but
No, but like when I was talking about the romanticization of the relationship, that made me feel like also like that kind of breakup thing, and that like no, I don't want to see
Mhm.
you anymore, the betrayal and everything. So it's not um like it's not linked to that story of Troy Bolton and everything, but that made me laugh because of that. Like it became a meme, that saying
Sure.
that thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, that could be a reference, like, but like because it was at that time pop culture thing and everything. But like anyway,
Yeah.
um, you end the movie around the fire, like you said, like as a friend group and everything. And I love that you made one of them start smoking, not only because of the Zayn thing, but I was like, and you said it before, but I was going to tell you, like, it felt like they were getting older instantly and they sound older at the end. And I met even like even the way they talk, and like that felt different. So also nicely done. But
thank
it felt
you.
very something heavy was going on, and it was
Mhm.
fun at the same time.
I mean, kind of like you said with the stages of grief and stuff that you go through, that kind of just felt like with the montage, yeah, again, there's like multiple stages that they're going through and like different emotions they're battling. So it kind of does feel like after all of that, then there's this kind of like acceptance in a way, or just sort of like a numb, like got all the different emotions out. Now it's just like sitting here and it's like, what's left to
Mm,
to say and do. And yeah, the cigarette, I mean, that's kind of just something else that's like a like funny, like extreme way of like
Mhm.
yeah.
dealing with something, yeah, like having like a cigarette and stuff, in the stop smoking campaign. I laugh every time I hear Antoinette say that line.
I think that's just, yeah, like a representation of like loss of, like the beginning of loss of girlhood. Like that's
Mm,
like the very beginning of like,
hmm.
yeah, like losing your innocence, losing that sweet innocence that you had at the time. That was like from my memories of middle school and being a preteen, that was like, yeah, one of the very first memories of losing that girlhood, yeah, which we all had discussed about. And I think that ending scene, yeah, represents that pretty
Yeah.
well with the
First,
cigarette. And
first
yeah,
time,
they've grown older now.
first time we trusted men and we got disappointed. Wow, shocker. But like, no, no, for real. It's just, and you were kind of giving, trust. You trust them, with your heart, with your soul, and everything. Like it felt like such an important thing to give them that you felt, of course, abandoned, like kind of.
Mhm.
So, and like you said, like this girlhood kind of got through a blurry time. Like you were okay, it's time to grow up now, maybe because everyone was telling you like, what the fuck, like grew up, like it's nothing. It's like it's not even. I'm like, no, that's everything. But like whatever, you will never know why. Anyway,
Get it.
yeah, I was just let go. But it's fun because the more I grew up, now that I have like really strong friends, and even if they were not directioners, like when I tell them that, they're way more mature than someone at the time that would a grow up person, like a grown up telling me, I don't understand what you mean. Like my friends today are like, 30 years old or like 27 years old, even more. They are very like, they listen and they're like, Okay, I was not a directioner, but I kind of get what you're saying." And I like that now you have more or less group of friends like can listen and understand that part of it. And it's mostly, I think, because we talk more about it, because we have also people like you like doing creative process around this, around those storylines. But we also, as humans, talk a lot more about it. I mean, I'm sure you saw what happened with Billie Eilish and Justin Bieber. That's just an example of how the full circle fangirlism, facet of things is now loved a lot, and understood also. I mean, it's because it's Billie Eilish, of course, but
Yeah.
it's has that heaviness, that character around it. So I think it's
Mhm.
better now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it never goes away, it never leaves you. Like I feel like if there was any we all had an opportunity, like Billie Eilish to be with like, your childhood like idol and stuff, like and have that moment that you like always dreamed of having where you're, pulled up on stage or like recognized by them in some way. Like I think it would put you back into that kind of um, more childlike, state of mind, or just resurface like a lot of those things, which is maybe why other adults now are more understanding of, or maybe like want to be more understanding of the feelings, and if they can kind of attribute like, I think they just get that feeling a little bit more now, and I think in turn, I feel like we also understand the boys' perspective as well at the time that was not as easy to
Yeah,
understand
of
as
course.
well. Because yeah, it's like why would they do this to us? And then it's like you grow up and it's like, okay, I mean, they were wanting to do different things with their career, or like
Mm.
Zayn specifically, it's like, oh, actually there was like a lot of mistreatment and things that he was going through and stuff too. So I think there's just a lot more understanding as you grow up, and it's easier to like look back on it and be able to process those things differently.
No, definitely. Definitely. The fact
Yeah, I
that,
wanted to preface that we love Zayn and we do not blame him for leaving
of
whatsoever.
course, of
Wanna
course.
just want to make that perfectly clear because yeah, sure at the time it felt like a betrayal or
Yeah.
whatever, but it's like we will always love Zayn and support him and whatever decision he makes.
Because of
I
everything
wanted to
happened.
make that clear.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
of course we do. And
yeah.
like it was difficult to understand before, but now it's like even like it's clearer and we
Mhm.
understand mental health first and
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
do whatever makes you happy, right?
Yeah.
Um and I think someone in the comments said and they didn't even experience the Zui fight yet, the Twitter
Oh my
Zui fight
gosh.
yet, you
Yeah.
Oh.
know. And I was like, oh no, don't remind me.
And I'm like, there's things now happening with like Zayn that's
Yeah.
going on. I'm like, it never ends.
Oh yeah, like the first time I don't know the picture or the moment I saw like a picture between Louis and Zayn like being together, or like I was like, I think I could cry. I could have cried because I was like, you don't understand what he means. Because I think I was so touched of them being friends. Also, I was so
Mhm.
like admirative that they were friends and like such strong, personalities being friends.
Mhm.
So that's also kind of healed a little bit a part of me, because I think that was one of the things I was scared of when he left. It was about the friendship, also. So I and I think you kind of also feel the difference in the friend group also in your movie when you're like, it feels like not only heavy and, serious because yeah, have to realize that you have to grow up, but also feels like the friends group is like different. It's not a breakup of the friend group, It's
Yeah.
just weird as friends, to think about that.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
definitely felt, yeah, like heavier. Like there was something to deal with now, and it wasn't all like light, and
Yeah.
we can't go back to reading our imagines the same way. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And the fact that you talk about the algebra quiz tomorrow, I think it was a good balance between the yeah, okay, it happened. Like the dramatic of it, like lasted like 8, 9 minutes, and then the 1 minute left. Like you have to realize that you have exams tomorrow. Like that's the reality of things. That's not only that. And the fact that she realized it and that she says it, it's also like I think it was a quite a good realization, good for the viewer to realize like, oh yeah, there's that. Like it was not just like the moment here there are students that they will have to work, they have to no.
Mhm.
But before that it wasn't so clear that you had classes and everything.
I think it's like we also really wanted to reiterate that these are like girls in school, like these are kids, you know?
Yes.
And so, like, their biggest problem or their priorities in the day isn't making sure that they pay rent or go to their 9 to 5 job. Like, their
Mm,
priorities and their biggest responsibilities is making sure that they pass math class, is making sure that they do their tests, you know? And so I think it's also a great line at the end because it kind of just shows, yeah, where your responsibilities and your priorities lie as a preteen girl. And it's like One Direction is the number one top priority always.
exactly,
And then, yeah,
always.
your second priority was like, okay, I have to pass math class or like my mom's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really great, like showing that kind of how you view the world as a preteen girl, you know?
Yeah, and that she acknowledges that she has to do that too. Like it was not
Yeah.
just being obsessed with One Direction, not studying, We were not throwing our lives away because of that. Like actually no. Like I need to be in school to have a good job, to have money to go see One Direction. That was the
Mhm.
mindset. That was like I was so productive in English class because of that. And like and now everyone tells me like, where's your French accent? Like sometimes like sometimes I do have it, sometimes I don't. And like people are like, why you so good at English? Like because One Direction. Like and that's real. That's so much real. And also, yeah, not just that we were girls, but also very aware. And like you said about self-awareness and like we are aware of the reality now of the stupidity, and we are aware also that we were like smart girls also, and that we would just, having a laugh around and the being fun around One Direction and being happy and sad about them. But like we were also humans and persons and smart people. And
Mhm.
so that's nice that you had that it adds up, to that kind of historic dramatic thing. But like, yeah, we do have also responsibility and there's stuff around.
Yeah.
So
I-
really, really nice way to end the movie. I felt like
Yeah. I think that goes back to like taking control of the narrative, like Annie talked about earlier,
exactly,
because it's
yeah,
like this wasn't the only thing in our lives, that took priority. It was just a big one.
mm.
But like we were still smart girls that wanted to pass class and
Have dreams. We had
have,
dreams
yeah,
already.
have dreams, but also enjoy pop culture and enjoy the little things in life or the very big things. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and
so
like you
nice.
touched on too with like I think mentioning like the fan fiction and edits and imagines, it's like, I mean, honestly, like the skills that like people that were very, at these young ages, the fangirls were like, yes, I can literally write like hundreds of thousands of words, like full novels, like literally because it just surrounds something that they're interested in, or like learn knowing editing softwares and how to like do different like editing video, but again, it's because it relates to, yeah, like fangirl like an interest and stuff, then people don't really like recognize sometimes that like, yeah, these are like full on like skills and talents that were being built up and that
Yeah,
people at that time like literally had like, yeah, and same with like reading and stuff too. It's like reading like so many different novels, building like a large vocabulary, experiencing like, yeah, loving English. I honestly feel like loving reading fan fiction, loving reading like books in English class. I'm like, there's tons of overlap. I feel like it really does keep building on those
Yeah.
skills.
And
Yes,
storytelling. Like it
Yeah.
definitely played an impact in like learning to love telling stories and making things up.
definitely.
Yeah.
Everything that around them, was inspiring to us, and
Mhm.
we always wanted to create more and more and more and more stuff to add, I think, value to it, so people also would see that it was valuable. Like, I think he felt the need to be very you wanted to give to others too. I don't know. We wanted to share, like basically also
Mhm.
that connection thing. We were so engulfed in it that we also wanted to share things and create things together. And that's very cool. It's not just like watching it happen. We wanted to be a part of it. So of it all. That's also, I think, very moving. You know, I like idol fan relationship. Like, was nice to it was not just parasocial in a weird way of like, I'll be with them one day and, they will know I exist or anything. It felt I wanted to be a part of a community. That's what it was. That's really nice in that way too.
Yeah, I think I wanted to like touch on Lana Del Slayer too, because we made like another film, like
Yeah, I
how
saw, I
Alex
saw it.
brought up about, well, that incorporated fangirl culture as well.
Mm,
And again, we don't even mean to be really diving into it. We just end up making art and stories that involve fangirl culture, but it really is like a community. It really is a way for people to connect with one another. And I think that's what's so powerful about being a fangirl. Because yeah, again, I feel like being a fangirl, it has such a negative narrative, and just the fact that being a girl always has a negative narrative. So I think that it's actually like no, fangirls are, if like fangirls didn't exist, nothing would really exist. Like we really carry TV shows,
Pop
music, just
culture. Yeah.
yeah, like without women, a
definitely.
lot of stuff wouldn't get
Just get rid
uh
of men. Just to
views
do it right
or
now. That's
or
fine with
just
me.
like
No, I'm joking.
genuinely any like having fangirls is truly like one of the or being a fangirl, anything like nothing would really have good success without them. Like we there it's yeah, it has such like a negative narrative surrounded it around
Yeah.
it being a fangirl, and it's like it genuinely is, there
Because
is,
it's not cool.
yeah, it's not cool, exactly, it's
You
not
have to
cool, and it's
be
like
you have to be nonchalant. You have to not care.
right,
I'm like,
right,
what?
yeah.
I care too much. That's my personality. No, like I
Yeah,
just
and that's like so wonderful. Like, why
yes.
can't we care? Why can't we be chalant?
Hmm.
And a lot of that obviously has to do with like just women in society always getting made fun of.
Mm.
So it's yeah,
And that's a
it is.
power. I mean, you're turning something that is mocked at, and that it's like a typical thing in the society between genders and between, people, and you're turning it into a real concrete work of art, like that people can watch and consume, and they can see themselves in, and so that's the power of it all, and their returning situation by and yeah, it's just you make it something beautiful out of something that is, a mockery of every day. But when we stick together and we create this stuff, like nothing can stop us. I know. So yeah, it's just really, really, really cool. Got I have so much hope when I see that, because it's so easy to just lost yourself in those kind of negative views and to or just give up because you don't have enough this or enough that, or if and to see that the smallest things people think that are the smallest things, you can find such beauty and such like meaning in them, like gives me hope to keep creating or like to keep meeting those people. And so yeah, I think
I mean, yeah, I think it kind of connects, like, even just to honestly, reflecting now, like pursuing film and experiencing a male-dominated industry, it's almost like having that past experience with being a fangirl. It almost like I feel like has given a little bit of strength in terms of like when coming across people maybe like looking down on the stuff that you want to make or do. It's almost like, oh, please, I've already like dealt with that before. Like you can't that will not put a dent in like what we're about to do now. And
Mm.
yeah, I think it feels connecting back to like our younger selves in that sense too, like still creating things on the stuff that yeah, maybe other people don't understand or weren't a part of. But yeah, it's for again that community. Just as yeah, like in middle school, if you're creating an outfit for what you and Louis would be wearing to go, you know, gondola riding or something like now as an adult it's like well now creating like a whole short film like because now there's the resources and the
Yes.
experience behind it and like the capability to like oh wow like we can use like yeah our big girl talents to like make still create for the communities that we still loved getting to be a part of before and that's been really fun to see people the community find it and again yeah have that like little clip do well and like um have it reach the intended community. Because yeah, it's like it in a way it is for dedicated to them too.
I think you really managed to you targeted and you reached what you know you wanted. And also the really the core of you know the story, community, and everything. When I saw people, and I mean, you could feel the sorority of it all. I think you could feel it, right? I mean, I think you had a lot of fun doing that. I guess also.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it was a blast.
I may I also add, I love the voiceover. I don't know who's doing that, but like it's really nice.
It's my older brother is doing the voiceover of the Imagined.
Really great job. I love the like his tone is amazing. Like, it's perfect.
I'll definitely send him this episode when it's out so you can see the compliment.
No, really, that was so nice. I mean, I saw there's like a lot of people involved. So like, yeah, congratulations to the whole team, the time you put into it. Yeah.
Thank you. That means a
Thank you
lot.
so much, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks to you. That was a great conversation. I really enjoyed sharing with you, and I really, really support you in whatever you come up with next to and encourage you to keep creating, to never give up. And yeah, just I think you're really like creative and beautiful woman. So yeah,
Oh, that
happy to
means a
have met
lot.
you.
This was so wonderful. You're such a good like chatter. Like this was a great conversation.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. That was so nice. I wish you the best day. And yeah, let's keep in touch.
Let's do it.
Yeah, have
Thank
a
you
good
so
rest of your
much.
night.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one, Julie. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye
Really nice
bye.
to meet you.